late. So, like I said, we have two speakers today. They're going to talk about the route of the great shrines. And we're going to start with the Anne Godbout, who's the president of Spirit Tour. And she founded the company in 2003. And also she wrote some books on the voyage spirituel in Quebec, etc. So, I mean, she's going to do the presentation and she will introduce you the other speakers. So, Anne, you can, it's all yours. You can take control.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I want to thank you very much, François Janviel, for this opportunity. This is a route that is very dear to my heart, the route of the shrines, the great shrines of Quebec. So today we want to show you this route, to make you discover all the shrines, but also the abbeys and churches that testify the faith of men and women for like over 4 centuries. It will allow you to familiarize yourself with Quebec, which is like a little piece of Europe within North America, and to introduce you to all the ingredients available in Quebec waiting to delight pilgrims, and convince you that Quebec really must be part of your pilgrimage destinations, and to get to know better Spirit Tours, who we are. We're an incoming agency, a tour operator based in Montreal, and we specialize in the organization of pilgrimage over 17 years. I founded Spirit Tours in 2003 after a trip that totally transformed my life and a spiritual quest. And really, I wanted to share this experience I had, that it was really like an encounter with God through traveling. It enabled me to really open my eyes, my heart, my mind to new horizons of the world and my inner world, and I really wanted to share that with other people. And so that's how I founded Spirit Tours. We're the pioneer tour operator in Canada, specialized exclusively in spiritual and religious tourism. Our mission is to allow individuals to take a break, to reflect on their lives, renew themselves, to grow spiritually, and strengthen their relationship with God. We're also a member of the Economy of Communion. I don't know if you have heard of it. It's been going on for 30 years. It's a social economy network that was started by the folklore movement. It promotes an economic culture imprinted on communion, gratuity, and reciprocity. It was started by Chiara Lubbock, who's the founder of the folklore movement, and it seeks to unite people through economic activity and enterprise. It's rooted in 2 ideals of the gospel. First, that we might all be one, and that none among us be in need. It therefore unites those in material and spiritual need with entrepreneurs, their companies, customers, employees, competitors, suppliers, in a global effort to create material and spiritual abundance and to freely share that abundance. Basically, we share our profit in 3 parts. The first part is for the needy, those in need. The second part is to promote a culture of giving, and the third part is to reinvest in the business to grow the business. It was born in 1991, and now it's over 800-900 businesses all around the world that live this ideal, and yeah, we just celebrated our 30th anniversary. So today we have with us Michel Toupin, who's going to be your tour director for this virtual tour of the Great Shrines. Michel Toupin has been a tour guide for many years, and he also worked as a teacher for our National School of Tourism. So, Michel, the floor is yours.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome aboard. This is a great chance for me to express how much I enjoyed working with Anne and doing this wonderful tour. I hope you have as much fun as we did preparing it. It's a wonderful tour. So I'll try and lead you the best I can throughout all these wonders of our province of Quebec and these wonderful shrines and so on. So I guess we should start and with Montreal, where is the place where we'll begin our tour. Basically, Montreal is naturally the metropolis of Quebec. Not to be confused, the province is named Quebec, and naturally the Quebec City is another thing within the province of Quebec. So Quebec comes in twice. Yeah, so I guess we can go and start looking at these wonderful pictures. So Montreal is going to be the place where we begin. From there, just to eventually, you'll realize with the maps that we've got, we have very close by to Montreal, we have I'll call it an Indian, we shouldn't say that, it's indigenous people, a reserve, which is called Sainte Catherine de Tequita in Sherbrooke. It's just on the southern portion of the island, Montreal. It's also a great place because we do have a religious movement that started there with Sainte Catherine de Tequita many, many years ago. So this is going to be our first step on. It's just a very
Michel,
short story.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to emphasize here on the map is just to show that the route of the Great Shrines is a loop from Montreal, just before we start, and back to the starting point. So you will visit the most important shrines in the province of Quebec, Saint Joseph Oratory of Montreal, Our Lady of the Cape Shrine in Trois-Rivières. There's the Hermitage Saint-Antoine at Lac Bouchette. Sorry, I'm just going to show them. So that's the shrine here of.
Okay, very well.
Pointer.
Yeah. So if you want to carry
on.
And
then the Hermitage Saint-Antoine at Lac Bouchette, right here in the north, near Lac Saint-Jean in the Saguenay-Lac Saint-Jean region. Then we'll continue to Quebec City for the shrine of Saint-Anne-de-Beaupré in Quebec, and the Basilica of Saint-Anne-de-Beaupré is right here on the east, and the Basilica Cathedral of Notre-Dame de Quebec. And then we go in the eastern townships to see the shrine of the Sacred Heart of Beauvoir, and also the Abbey of Saint-Benoît du Lac, and then back in Montreal.
Sorry, folks, I should have started with that loop. Sorry about that. So this is the what we're doing as a whole tour. So we'll move on to the next slide, I guess. Okay, well, there goes Montreal. Just briefly so that you know, to put everything in perspective, Montreal was founded in 1642, so it goes way back then. Like I said, it's the metropolis of Quebec. It's quite surprisingly, it's an immense island. People don't realize that. It's 30 miles long by 9 miles large, which makes it quite a big island. It's also, interestingly, it's a metropolitan area that counts for almost half of the population of Quebec, because we're 8 million people here, but almost on the outskirts of Montreal and so on, there's about 4 million people. Like I said, the province of Quebec, to be distinguished, the province of Quebec versus Quebec City. And Montreal has a very long story. It's all related to basically the St. Lawrence River, which was the main gateway to our continent. This is very important. Therefore, it's very understandable that the Port of Montreal actually became the second largest inland port after New York. All goods had to transit between Montreal to furthermore go inland. Consequently, naturally, because of its historical district, this became a very important settlement after Quebec City for our religious communities. The city also eventually earned the title of City of 100 Steeples. So that's for Montreal. Montreal is characterized by a very, very important monument that sits way top of the Mount Royal. The Mount Royal is the main mountain of Montreal. It's actually 764 feet high, and it really dominates the whole island. It's a very important architecture. It is actually, we're talking about the St. Joseph Oratory of Montreal. So it was actually integrated in 1904 as Canada's largest church. Sanctuary normally greets over 2 million visitors per year. In the largest Catholic shrine in the world dedicated to Saint Joseph, praying, celebrations, sacraments, listening services are all part of its mission. Here you can see the Votive Chapel, where is the tomb of Saint Brother Andre. Now, Saint Brother Andre is a very special character to us. He was born Alfred Bessette, and shortly is one of the most popular Quebecois, as we call ourselves, of the 20th century. Even before he was canonized, in 2010, his reputation for holiness crossed frontiers and influenced generations of people. Yep. So from there, you have a beautiful view of the oratory. The surroundings are extremely impressive, I've got to say, by wonderful gardens dedicated to biodiversity. And strolling throughout the Garden of the Way of the Cross will allow you to contemplate its magnificent architecture, artistic and spiritual heritage. The oratory is a National Historic Site and recognized as such. The mountain also has an outstanding park, I've got to say, which was designed by the same architect who conceived Central Park in New York. And I'm talking here about Mr. Frederick Law Homestead, and that can be seen from everywhere. We are now in the Old District, a very special chapel that means a lot to me, Notre de Bosoku. One of the first chapels erected here in our city. It's been for over 350 years, the Chapel of Notre de Bosoku. It's a jewel of history, really, and heritage, and it has made its way into the hearts of generations of visitors and pilgrims. As you step into the church, you will immediately notice the peaceful atmosphere and feel a palpable link to Montreal's past, that's for sure.
Michel, are you still with us?
Sorry, I had a little technical problem here. I was saying that the Notre Dame de Bosoku is the home to the historical site of Marguerite Bourgeois. Their mission is to preserve, enhance, and transmit all of Saint Marguerite Bourgeois' memory, the invaluable work and legacy by communicating the history of their literature and the origins of Montreal. Montreal, foremost educator, pioneer, entrepreneur, founder, and great advocate. Really a woman of character whose values are still relevant today. We encourage you to include the visit to the museum, which is just next by, just close to it. Now, oh my God, this is like what everybody is so astounded about. We are now talking about the Notre Dame Basilica of Montreal, which is the mother church of Montreal. It's located actually in the historic district of Montreal. In the interior of the church is amongst the most dramatic in the world and regarded as a masterpiece of Gothic revival architecture. The vaults, which is quite amazing, are colored deep blue, like the color of Virgin Mary, and decorated with 5,000 golden stars. They're actually 21 carats gold. And the rest of the sanctuary is decorated in blues, azures, red, purples, silver, and gold. It is filled with hundreds of intricate wooden carvings that are very proper to Quebec, and several religious statues. Unusual for a church, the stained glass windows along the walls of the sanctuary do not depict the biblical scenes, but rather scenes from the religious history of Montreal. We also have in that beautiful church a wonderful organ, which was done entirely by the Casaman brothers, who are located in Saint-Hyacinthe. It goes back to 1891, and it compromises 4 keyboards. It's really quite something. 92 stops using electromagnetic action and in adjustable combination systems. There's actually 7,000 individual pipes. Can you imagine? And a pedal board. Approximately, we have 11 million people visiting this church alone every year, making it one of the most visited monuments of North America. You can also experience a beautiful sound and light show at night, naturally. Now, we were talking earlier when I began, we were talking about St. Catherine Tekakwitha. That's just like I've said earlier, sorry about that, 20 miles away. That's a loop that we'll do out of Montreal. It's 20 miles away on the south side of St. Lawrence River, across from Montreal. So it is in the Kanawage Mohawk territory, a First Nations reserve of the Mohawks of Kanawake. Catherine, who was also named Lily of the Lambskin, is the first holy native in North America. It is also possible to visit a museum which holds many native and religious artifacts.
Okay, and now I want to talk to you about some of the lodging along the route. So this is one that is very it's very beautiful, a very beautiful location. It's near Kanawake on Ile Saint-Bernard in Châteauguay. It's on the shores, the south shore of the St. Lawrence River, across Montreal, and on the shores of Châteauguay River and Lac Saint-Louis. So the Manoir Duville was a former seigneurie, and in 1765, Sainte Margaret Duville, founder of the Grey Nuns of Montreal, she acquired the land, the Châteauguay Seigneurie, and turned it into a convent. For more than 200 years, the Grey Nuns inhabited the island and protected the territory. There's a park there that is protected. It's still there. You can go on the hiking trails. It's beautiful. And today the manor is an exceptional resort that boasts a 114-room hotel and 8 meeting rooms. It's located in a lush, tranquil setting where nature meets culture. The breathtaking views are at once relaxing and reinvigorating. Only 20 miles from Montreal, it's a perfect place to stay for a group of pilgrims. Of course, if you prefer to stay downtown Montreal, we offer a large choice of hotels of all categories and for all budgets. Our tour operators' exclusive rates are unbeatable. One of the newest hotels in Montreal is the Fairfield by Marriott Montreal downtown. It's centrally located on Berry Street near St. Catherine Street. It offers 154 non-smoking rooms on 9 floors, has large elevators and a large lobby for efficient group check-in. It offers, of course, a breakfast. That's normally a buffet breakfast. Of course, right now it's different. They offer a breakfast in a bag. Free Wi-Fi, in-room safe, fridge, iron, hair dryer, name it, 46-inch flat screen television, tea and coffee, and all the amenities for your comfort. I'm not going to present all the hotels we have in Montreal, so I decided to just show those 2 options, but of course there are many, many. So Michel, I let you continue.
Absolutely, there, Anne. So actually going from I always have a hard time pronouncing that. Sorry about that. Tekakwitha, we are still on Montreal, but then from that point on, we will head towards Three Rivers. So if you look at the map right here, this is where we're heading at on the northern shore of the St. Lawrence, and we are going to Three Rivers. So let's talk about that a little bit. So after spending about a few 2 days in Montreal, we are now heading towards Three Rivers, which is also a mid-sized city, very important city. So we'll take the next slide to Three Rivers, and we'll talk a little bit about that. It's at 93 miles east of Montreal, just to give you an idea. It's about an hour and a half drive, so which is not very long. And there's a beautiful scenic road that I've got to mention on the way down. It's called the King's Road. And the King's Road was the first road to be established between Montreal and Quebec City. So naturally, you will stroll along the St. Lawrence River. You'll have beautiful villages. You'll really have a very good glimpse of what old France means on the side of the St. Lawrence. So now we're getting into Three Rivers. There's a lot to be said about this beautiful little city. Traveling on the very unique road all the way to Three Rivers should bring you back to what it meant in earlier days, as I said, belonged to first settlers on this land. We have beautiful historic homes that have been entirely refurbished in that city with lovely gardens and an incredible proximity to the beautiful St. Lawrence. Three Rivers, quite interestingly, also have been, believe it or not, the worldwide capital of paper because of its location to one of our great national parks and the exceptional merging of Three Rivers. Basically, that's where the city got its name from. The city also holds many other religious buildings beside the sanctuary we're about to visit. The old district of Three River, where everything is walkable, is really a wonder in itself. One of the most emblematic building in this beautiful Catholic cathedral was constructed between 1854 and 1858. All of these surroundings are quite unique. Today they are yours to discover, really. You will still feel this peaceful aura if you happen to stroll on these streets, believe me. I call it walking through time and its wonders, really. That's how much I love it. Yes. Now, one of the very important person that holds a special place in the Three River is the godfather Frederick. Well, sorry about that. I'll start all over. Three River, I'm trying to say too much, it's so little time. Three River will really help you to understand the implantation of the religious institution in the New World and the importance of their work regarding education, naturally, justice, and health. You will get to visit the Ursuline Museum, a convent, a school, and a hospital. You will visit a site that is more than actually 300 years old and be inspired by the Ursuline experience. Moving accounts recall an era not so long ago when walls surrounded the Ursuline convent. You will discover the chapel topped by a dome, a symbol of the old Three River. Let yourself be enchanted by the ethnographic collection, which testifies to both an active and monastic life. Access also the monastery using the 3D application and virtual reality and discover the historical evolution of the Ursuline of Trois-Rivières site since 1700. And you can also visit the Museum of Frederick Janson, which tells you the life of this Franciscan who was born in France in 1838 and died in Canada in 1916. Through various works of art, visitors will learn about this friar who witnessed the miracle of the eyes. Now, he not only witnessed the miracle of the eyes, he did also see that beautiful miracle of the eyes was one of the things he witnessed, but he also witnessed the bridge, the ice bridge in Three Rivers. But we'll talk about that later on. Frederick was beatified by Pope John Paul II on September 25, 1988. While the Canadian Church hopes for his canonization soon, a visit to the museum will introduce you to a loving man who was loved as much in Quebec, where he lived 30 years, as the Holy Land, where he worked for 12 years. Now, one of the very important monuments we'll see also is Our Lady of the Cape Shrines. It is actually the third largest Marian shrine in North America. It was founded in 1888. The shrine attracts actually more than 430,000 visitors per year. It's an octagonal-shaped building, 79 meters high, or actually 260 feet long, by 60 meters high, or 167 feet wide. The pyramid-shaped dome is surmounted by a skylight, which supports a 15 feet high cross. The type of the cross is 258 feet from the ground. The basilica rests on 195 foundation piles driven through sand and clay to reach solid rock at about, I'd say, 90 feet deep. The cornerstone is at the front of the basilica, at the top of the steps on the left. The four polished stones embedded in the shape of a cross were among the stones transported on the ice bridge that I've just spoken about. In March 1879, they were blessed in Rome by Pope Pius XII. Now, discover a true oasis of peace and greenery, a historical chapel inaugurated in 1720, and magnificent gardens with pedestrian walkways overlooking the St. Lawrence River. In 2020, the shrine celebrated its 300th anniversary. When entering the Basilica, one is really impressed by the volume of the nave and by the harmony of its proportion. One can see everywhere no columns or pillars to hinder the view of the 1,660 people who can actually take place in the pews. The framework is formed of large arches of reinforced concrete consisting of oblique straight lines, polygonal arcs, which fall on pillars at the angles of the octagon. The buttresses, which are located between the pillars and the walls, are pierced with a high opening allowing circulation around the nave. In the design of the great arches, the core, and the transept, the architect, Adrien Dufresne, was obviously inspired by his mentor, Dom Bellot, a Benedictine monk. The arches of the core and transept somewhat resemble the angles formed by the phalanges of the finger when they are folded. It is there, it seems, that Dom Bellot would have gotten his inspiration for the polygonal arches. Now, finally, at night, participate in a torching procession praying with other pilgrims.
Okay, and for lodging opportunity, just in front of the shrine, there's a nice hotel for pilgrims called Maison de la Madone, which means Madonna House. It has been renovated recently. It has large meeting rooms and is very well equipped to welcome groups. Currently closed because of the pandemic. We hope they will be able to open again soon. Of course, in Trois-Rivières downtown, there are many, many other hotel choices.
So from that point on, what we do is we're actually heading up north. As you can see on the map, We are leaving Three Rivers, and we're going to a very special place, which is called Lac Bouchette. So it's actually, I've got to say a quick word about this because, I mean, we call it this is a very special location. See that lake up there, all the way up to the north? It's called the Royaume du Lac Saint-Jean, Lake St. John, to make it briefly. It's almost a community within a community of the province of Quebec. So let's talk about that because we're heading that way. That you can see l'Ermitage Saint-Antoine. It's actually way up there, almost in the middle of the card, but on the very top of the map there. So I guess we can go to the other slide. So you have a beautiful overview of the place here. It's a few minutes away from the majestic Lake Saint-Jean, which I've spoken about. It's on wooden grounds located at Lac Bouchette. The Hermitage Saint-Antoine is a destination appreciated as much by pilgrims than people on the inner quest of travelers seeking natural beauty and tranquility. It was actually founded in 1907 and animated by the Capuchins religious order. This natural shrine offers great quality lodging, cottage, hotel, camping, a restaurant, and many more activities and services, guided tours, heritage buildings, museum and works of art, walking trails, and so much more. The Hermitage Saint-Antoine is really a must-to-see. Now, in 1907, the Abbé de la Mort had a white and red house built with a small chapel that he named Hermitage Sant'Antonio. The name Hermitage was given by the people from the region. Their thinking was that Abbé de la Mort lived like a hermit, and so it was fitting. He began to think that this place could become a sanctuary dedicated to Our Lady of Lourdes. With this in mind and heart, he installed a statue of Our Lady of Lourdes on the Grotto's Rock and went there every day to pray. Informed of this discovery, the people from Lac Bouchette joined in his devotion and prayed at the grotto. The first real pilgrimage to the Hermitage dates all the way back to 1915. About 20 young adults from the St. Louis parish of Chambord, after chanting the Month of Mary, arrived by train to venerate the Blessed Mother. 1 year later, the grotto was blessed and recognized as a pilgrimage site. It was the faith of the religious population that really prompted the bishop to answer Abbé de la Mort's pleas. Now, today, after more than 100 years of existence, l'Hermitage Saint-Antoine has become the collaborative achievement of a large family comprised of Capuchins and lay people. Together, they make sure that this magnificent place, born out of the faith of a diocesan priest, inspired by Saint Anthony and the Virgin Mary, is one God's known addresses. Here you will see the convent of the Capuchin friars. They are very, very friendly. It's possible to organize an encounter with the prior of the community, Father Francis Salesses, which we see directly on that picture on the right-hand side.
Okay, and for the lodging opportunity, Hermitage Saint-Antoine, as I mentioned, for the lodging, for nice large hotel rooms, most with 2 double beds,
I'm sorry, Anne, we're losing you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
No.
No?
Okay, it's okay. So you better start again with the accommodation.
The lodging? Okay,
yeah.
Sure. So, I was saying they have great quality lodging right on site at the Hermitage. They offer nice large hotel rooms with private bathrooms, most with 2 double beds and view on the lake. Meals are served at the restaurant on the waterfront. There's also Notre Dame Capatacan Trail. It's a hiking trip, a pilgrimage inspired by the Way of St. James or Camino de Santiago de Compostela. So it's possible for us to offer you or offer your group either to do the whole pilgrimage by foot or to do little parts. So it's a total of 200. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
It's fine? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. So it's 230 kilometers. Yeah, each part, like you should walk about an average of 20 kilometers per day. It starts at the Our Lady. I'm trying to show with a pointer. You see the statue here. So this is where it starts on the right-hand side. The statue is on a cliff. You'll see in another picture. And it's à Prière Éternité, so that's where it starts. Hermitage Saint-Antoine, at the statue of Our Lady of Lourdes. It's so that's just
This is, I guess, sorry, Anne.
No, that's fine. You can go, Michelle.
I guess you have no problems with, we can hardly hear you. I just want to mention on top of everything here, this is Cap Trinité. As Anne was explaining, that wonderful trail actually links one place to the other one, as you can imagine, so it's a pretty long trail. Also to be mentioned in that area, as you can see the Virgin Mary on the left-hand side, this is pretty much what we get to see. And this is the typical scenery that we have. This area, you've got to know this, because this is important. We always talk about Norway and the fjords. Well, Lac Saint-Jean is actually one of the many wonders of the world. So this trail actually enhances the experience on the fjords and everything else. So this is a beautiful, beautiful path if you ever get a chance to do it. So let's go to the second slide, please. So this is pretty much an idea of the path that you'd be taking if you decide to do so. This is offered also by Spiritual. So we can always talk about that if you'd like to do it. So as you see, we're on the very top there where the round lake is. Lac Saint-Jean, we're still there. Actually, we are going to head back down. We will take the route to Lake Saint-Jean and Quebec City, which is actually 190 miles, 2 hours and a half of driving. It's a voyage through the heart of our nature because we'll be going to a beautiful park, which is very well known here at Quebec. It will allow you to contemplate the richness of our forests and its marvels. So it really is an in-depth journey to your mind and soul just coming back. The scenery and the route is an opportunity to meditate on one's life, the meeting with our brothers who were immersed in this beautiful setup and who are willing to share their peace of heart and generosity will definitively leave unforgettable memories in your heart. So now we're in Quebec City. Wow, so this is fun. You're actually in the heart and crib of our North American French culture, where everything began, as you can imagine. You must have heard about it. The city unfolds in front of your eyes, namely the Plains of Abraham, where the French and British battle was lost to France. So everything was played out in about 15 minutes. Built on this incredible cape, which is called Diamond Cape, it's overlooking these two chains of mountains that cover our territory. So being in Quebec City, for instance, on the left-hand side, you would see the Laurentians, and on the right-hand side, the Appalachians on the south, which actually go all the way down to the States, as you probably know. You can now understand by looking to Quebec City why it was so important when the first people came up to this continent, actually, and of great military importance. The weather here is actually pretty cold in winter. It has always a few degrees colder than Montreal or elsewhere in the province of Quebec because of its strategic geographical position on the river, which actually opens up on the ocean, actually. This is what the word Quebec meant, or to the indigenous nations, the opening of the water. This is where the St. Lawrence River really opens up. The picturesque pedestrian, the picturesque pedestrian streets of the Petit Champlain, which is a very lovely place to go and shop, and the magnificent Place Royale take you back in times to the founding of Quebec City. Quebec City, is actually 400 years old, and it will fill you with wonder with their magical atmospheres, all these little corners and shops and terraces. You'll absolutely adore it. So now, this is the Basilica Cathedral Notre Dame of Quebec, the official home of the oldest Catholic diocese from North America to northern Mexico. This is where the first mission chapel of New France was erected in 1647, followed by the first parish church of New France in 1664. This church was then turned into a cathedral in 1674 before being expanded and altered by several generations of architects. It still remains a model of religious architecture. It was bombarded during the Siege of Quebec in 1759. The cathedral was then rebuilt fairly accurately over a 5-year period from 1766 to 1771. In 1843, it was equipped with an impressive neoclassical facade, which elevated this cathedral to the rank of Basilica in 1874. Ravaged by a fire in 1922, it was again almost entirely rebuilt, keeping its monument appearance in the mid-19th century. It was proclaimed Canada's primatial cathedral in 1956. Notre Dame de Quebec is a cathedral because it is the Bishops of Quebec Church. It is also a basilica, which recognized as an important place of Catholicism, a place of pilgrimage. Eventually, it was given the title Primatial Church, and it is the mother church of the first Catholic diocese in Canada. Now, here is the tomb of Saint François de Laval, the first bishop of New France and founder of the Seminary of Quebec, canonized in 2014 by Pope Francis in the Basilica. The Basilica also has the only holy door of the Americas. It was inaugurated in 2013 on the occasion of the 350th anniversary of the founding by François de Laval of the Notre Dame of Quebec Parish. The Holy Door is a real door, pierced in the wall of the Chapel of the Sacred Heart on the north side of the cathedral. The Holy See granted Notre Dame de Quebec an extraordinary privilege when authorizing its construction. It is only during Jubilees, which are years of remission, indulgence, and also of reconciliation, conversion, sacramental penance. The purpose of the Holy Door is to be open and accessible to all during holy years, Jubilees, as a symbol of the path leading to conversions and blessing. Jubilees normally take place every 25 years, but the Pope can announce one when deemed appropriate. The next Jubilee year should be in 2025, and, sorry about that, will last only 1 year. And do you want to go on with the honors?
Yeah, I'm going to show, right now we're talking about the museum of the monastery, and then later I'll talk about the lodging there.
Absolutely. Sorry about that. Well, let me go on with it. This is the monastery of the Augustine. So that's an authentic and original concept in the heart of old Quebec. really an unforgettable experience within the historic walls of the Monastery des Augustines, site of the continent's first hospital north of Mexico. Sensitively restored and redesigned, should say beautifully redesigned, the monastery offers its guests a unique experience in holistic health, along with a rare opportunity to connect directly with the Augustine sisters' remarkable heritage. We welcome people of all cultures and beliefs and are proud to operate our facilities sustainably. Now, at the Monastery des Augustines, the museum experience, sorry, I'll just make it short and sweet. It's a very hard word to pronounce actually for us French people. The beautiful the museological experience merges with the place. It's rich of nearly 4 centuries of history, so that will be yours to wander around and enjoy all these beautiful artifacts. Now, Blessed Mary Catherine de Saint-Augustin, the French nun, was born in France in 1632, 1632 till she lived till 1668, and it has given her life to charity and has been devoted to the well-being of others in New France. She is considered to be a co-founder of the Catholic Church of Canada. Her tomb is in the historic church of the monastery. The shrine now, this is quite impressive. The shrine of Saint-Anne-de-Beaupré, located only 20 minutes away outside of Quebec City, so that's really easy to go to, is the second oldest pilgrimage site in North America. It was dedicated to Saint Anne, the grandmother of Jesus Christ. The shrine welcomes nearly 1 million visitors annually from all around the world. Through the splendors of a sacred site that is rich with 350 years of history, the shrine of Saint Anne de Beaupré is the epitome of the Christian people's faith and welcomes all races, beliefs, and traditions. You will discover the shrine's extraordinary history through its paintings, mosaics, stained glass, windows, and stone and wooden sculptures, and learn about the role it continues to play in our people's fate. The way of the cross on the hill behind the shrine is really very beautiful, also to be seen. On the way between Saint-Anne-de-Beaupré and Quebec, there is a park which is called the Chutes-Montmorency, a spectacular site. It has a 83 meters high waterfall that dominates the landscape. We take groups to the Montmorency Manor on the top left corner for lunch or dinner. That beautiful building is here way on the left there. The falls are actually higher than Niagara Falls, although much narrower.
Okay, now for the lodging opportunities around Quebec, we selected 2 that are my favorite. There are many hotels, of course, in and about Quebec City, all categories. So this is one of my favorite, the Manoir du Lac de Lage. It's a manor. It's a 4-star hotel. It's located 20 minutes away from the old city of Quebec in the natural setting of the Laurentian Mountains with a spa overlooking the lake. It's really beautiful. We take a lot of groups there and they love it. Also, the Monastère des Augustines is really incredible. It's in the heart of the old city of Quebec. We strongly recommend to stay at this place, which has been completely renovated and transformed into a hotel in 2015. So it's brand new. It offers 2 types of rooms in its restored former cloister. You may choose either the authentic room. It's on the right top corner. There are 33 rooms restored in the spirit of monasticism, or you can also choose the contemporary rooms on the bottom on the right. So there are 32 rooms completely redesigned with care. and with private bathrooms in the case of the contemporary room. The authentic room, you have the shared bathroom. Enjoy an environment of comfort and simplicity. This hotel is part of the healing hotels of the world. It has been named the world's #1 travel experience for physical and mental reboot by National Geographic Traveler magazine. Michel?
Yeah, I'm back here. Now from Quebec City, we move to Sherbrooke. Now this is has a special meaning to me since I'm from that area. Actually, this is where I live, in the Eastern Townships. The Eastern Townships are pretty close to the Vermont frontier. We will visit 2 more religious sites. It's actually a 145-mile drive. I'd say about 2 hours, 0.5 by bus. So this is all the way down. If you look at the bottom of the map there, you'll see it. We're very close to Maine and Vermont. So this is where we're heading at this time. Next slide, please. Yep. Okay, so we get to see a shrine of the Sacred Heart of Beauvoir, unique, in the Eastern Townships. A mountain with a superb view and plenty of places for groups, families, and solo travelers to relax and enjoy a meal. You'll find wide open spaces for gatherings or solitary walks and prayer, a peaceful trail in a magnificent natural setting, splendid sunrises, as you can imagine, and sunsets, and a magnificent historical chapel, 1920. Also offered are the possibility of retreats for small groups and presentation on different subjects. Gospel walks, bundle packed. Features includes access for people with reduced mobility, which is quite important, and it's open all year round. Oh, now the Abbey of Saint-Benoît-du-Lac is very close to where I live. Is one of the most beautiful and most famous abbey in Canada. The Benedictine Monastery community has some 30 monks living in the rule of Saint Benedict. They seek God through prayer, work, and life in community. You can participate in the liturgy of the hours and listen to the beautiful Gregorian chants, which is one of the very rare places that you can hear such chants, I've got to say. We can arrange a guided tour in 3 stages, learn about daily monastic life, admire the beautiful architecture of the abbey, and understand how monks support the needs of the community. We can also arrange apple cider, yes, and cheese tasting, products made here by the monks. And it's also possible to arrange a lunch and cruise or dinner cruise on the beautiful Lake Memphremagog, which is actually the largest lake we have in the province of Quebec. This boat actually can, if you decide to go on it and arrange that, a beautiful gourmet dinner, or you can have a nice stroll on the Lake Memphremagog.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Michel. That was a beautiful tour. I hope you all enjoyed it. I would like to just add that we can offer a unique experience to your group. We can customize your tour, of course. Thanks to the specialized knowledge of our tour guides and our good relationship with religious institutions across Canada, we can really make something special. We can have you arrange meetings with the religious communities or the prior of the shrines, very special activities. So don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions, if you want a quote to start dreaming about your next pilgrimage. We hope you enjoyed the conference. Please don't hesitate to contact us for more details. Thank you very much.
Goodbye to everybody from Michel.
Thank you very much, Michel.